Okay, I'd like to call the Barnes County North School Board meeting for September 21st, 2022 to order. I guess before moving to our agenda items, I'd like to ask if we please join me in a moment of silence or remembrance of our ECN staff member Deb Earls, who's passed away. Let's begin. Okay, thank you. And we'll, next up, do we start here, any changes to agenda?
Tuition waivers.
And you wanna-
Add that under new business as whatever, DBCDE.
Tuition agreement?
Yep.
Okay, anything else? If not, we need a motion to approve amended agenda.
All seconds.
Second by Chad. All in favor of approval of amended agenda, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It's approved. Consent agenda, we've got our minutes, bills, and financial reports. Any questions on minutes, bills, or financial reports, or comments on either? Anybody has?
Come on, Jim.
Get better at this.
No questions? If not, we would need a motion to approve our consent agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I'll second.
Any other discussion? If not, roll call.
Rob,
Yes.
Chad,
Yes.
Jennifer,
Yes.
Eric,
Yes.
Michelle,
Yes.
Cindy,
Yes.
Mike,
Yes.
Lee,
Yes.
Brett.
Yes.
Patron forum, I see we got some guests. Anybody request to,
Nobody requested to be on the
on the agenda?
agenda, no.
Okay. Then we'll move to administrative reports. We've got them in the packet, and I appreciate that. It's very nice to get that. I really like the job you guys do on that. It's very appreciated. So we'll go to superintendent. If you have any additions or
Yeah,
questions.
I do have a couple additions. I don't know if there's any, I put in those legislative meeting minutes. I don't know if there's any questions on anything that we discussed at that meeting, but we are meeting again here. I want to say the end of October, or at least before they start this next session. We're meeting to discuss many of these same items. This was kind of the initial conversation on it, and we're going to go back hopefully and with more information as far as, what BCN needs out of this, what Valley City would look for, somebody else, but with a little bit more. But it was very, for me, I enjoyed it because I didn't know these gentlemen. I had never met them, and of course it could change after the November election as well, people are, but gave me just that, knowing who they are, so I feel more comfortable now if I need to call them. They know me, and I talked to each one of them individually after the meeting, so it was a good meeting, I thought, with that. Otherwise, the numbers are roughly the same. We did get a new first grader the other day. We lost a couple juniors, so they fluctuated a little bit, but really the number itself total has pretty much stayed the same for that. Lindsay is taking care of flowers for Deb's service from the school and the board and everything, so we're good in that sense. And then next week on September 28th, it wasn't in there, I just saw it, I have a Southeast Superintendent's meeting and a Southeast Education Co-op meeting, which I'm looking forward to because I don't know a lot of the Southeast superintendents, so I'll get to meet and maybe know them, but haven't met them. So other than that, that's all I've got for my report, if there's any questions.
Any questions?
I just have one, what's the plan with the superintendent's office? I know we spent some money on flooring and stuff. Was there any discussion on that, or is that something that we'll talk about later?
I have my stuff in the garage and I'm moving stuff in to the house.
Okay.
So I am going to utilize it
Great.
throughout
Great, okay.
the year and
Yeah. All right.
everything
Good to know.
because
I
I'm not,
I guess I didn't realize that, sorry.
no, that's fine,
Yeah.
no,
Just never been brought up.
Yeah.
right, yep,
Good, okay.
Any other questions, Mr. Curry? Not, Mr. Wolf, secondary principal or an AD, together or separate? How we do it? Got any additions?
Just, one, we had the Region 6, principal meeting today in, Wyndmere, let me say that. I don't know this time.
Yeah.
It's not Windmere. And just the growing concern, and it's something that, Mr. Curry and I have talked about as well, and I'm sure he has with others, just the growing concern of staff replacement when it comes up. Talking to the Fargo Davies, principal, when they had, three English positions pop up, they had 10 applicants. And I would have thought that they would have had a lot more, being a bigger school in Fargo and whatnot. And a handful of those they were able to eliminate right away based off of lack of qualifications. So, and just talking to other principals too, they're struggling. So we talked about how to go about potentially down the road, if necessary, of sharing staff members teaching classes virtually for other schools and consortiums such as that, using the new technology that's out there and trying to figure out how to replace some of those staff shortages that are, because fortunately, I was the only one there that wasn't short of staff. Everybody else had teaching positions that were unfilled or teachers that walked out a couple weeks into school. So we're in a fortunate position right now, but going forward, it will be a growing concern, not just for us, but everybody.
Any questions, Mr. Wilson? Thank you. Mrs. Bussey, elementary principal reports. Anything added there?
I am adding, there's 5 more students who met their trimester 1 AR goals since I sent this on Friday. And then just wanted to follow up, if anybody's willing to volunteer for the math STEM night for the Title I teachers. They're looking for 1 more volunteer to help that night. There's a group of us at the Cognia conference, those 3 days, which falls over it, so.
And what date is that? I know you sent it, but what is it?
October 11th.
11th? Okay.
I gotta find somebody for football. I'll be contacting.
Okay, that'd be great, thank you.
That'll be from Boral.
Otherwise, any questions, follow-up questions? I want to thank Lee for noticing a typo in the handbook. And I'm glad he read it.
Mrs. Bitts, technology.
I listed some numbers for you guys as far as download of our school app that we have now with our new website solution. And at that time that I sent this report to you, we had 104 Android downloads and 504 iOS downloads. That number might be, the iOS downloads might be a little bit skewed because I did go into BPP and get that app for all of our school iPads. So, that's a pretty big handful right there. The whole elementary has iPads, so that number would be taken into consideration. But still, that's a pretty good number when it's talking to Apogee for a small school district, the people that are downloading the app and looking at that for information. So keep sharing that, and I've sent out different alerts to remind people to download it. Along with that new solution, we can send out, if you remember last year, we had lunch balance alerts going out every Friday. Those will be starting up again using this Apogee service. And then also we are able to do attendance alerts. So we are meeting with, or I am meeting with the Apogee rep at the end of the month. And I've asked Mrs. Bussey and Mr. Wilson like 3 minutes ago in an email if they would attend that meeting with me this week. It originally was supposed to be Deb and I. And then we can decide if we want to proceed with if students are marked unverified, if a phone call goes home. Mr. Curry is very familiar with it too. So I've asked him to kind of give input and be around as well. New library software is in full operation. We are taking all of our students out of Power School and syncing them daily to Destiny, the new library software. And Mrs. Undum has put a ton of work into that implementation, so a big thanks to her. And then I'll be presenting at a tech conference in October, so that's about all I have. Do you have any questions?
Any
I have a
questions?
question on that phone thing.
Mhm.
Do you have to do it on Friday evening? Can it be Thursday evening?
I can do it whenever.
Because you get it Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
I can
and
do it
you-
Monday.
The school is closed, so you can't do anything with it, but you're getting alerts all weekend. So-
Or you forget the alert by Monday.
Yeah, by Monday, then you forgot already, and
Yeah, I don't
then
know
the
why we
next
set it
Friday
up
night
that,
you're
but-
getting it, and Saturday morning you're getting it, and Saturday night
Yeah,
you're
it's
getting
lunch
it.
balance alerts
Yeah.
last year.
Yeah,
But you
So-
can do your lunch balance online.
Yep, but it's just to give you the alert that you're low, that your funds are low.
Yeah, but,
It sends you a text message.
yeah,
so you keep bugging
I
us all
like that.
weekend? Yeah.
I like that,
Yeah.
so I remember to do it.
Yeah, no, we can change a day. We can do middle of the week, beginning of the week, move it up a little bit.
So how
Good
come I
idea,
haven't gotten
Leland.
the bill yet?
Well, I
must be
just
paid
had
up.
a few of
Done
them
it,
calls
they
last
start next week.
I'm like,
So my bill's gonna be paid
Paid
then.
then.
Probably.
That's a good idea, yep.
Are you sure your kid's been here?
Any questions? If not, thanks, Melissa. Committee reports is budget and finance negotiations, which we've kind of discussed that there, but we had a few that weren't in here, so. I guess what we looked at budget and finance is, the biggest thing was our evaluation dropped 1.5 million, valuation wise. So in the past, we've levied 70 mills, but we found a section of century code that will allow us to levy the same amount of dollars as we did last year. So that will allow us to go above the 70 mills, so we're roughly at 73, 73.36. But that will, because of that century code thing, we can levy the same amount of dollars as we did last year. So that is one thing we're gonna look to make a recommendation for as we move down on the agenda. And we did look at what we can do moving forward, and we're looking to, and that'll be down on the agenda too, discuss the starting of a special reserve fund that could go up to a max of 15 mils value over time, but you could do up to 3 mils per year to go towards that. People have budgeted anything else that,
And maybe clarify what the special reserve is available for uses,
for uses could be almost anything,
for operational anything.
yes.
Yeah,
Correct.
it's not towards buildings.
It's not towards building, nothing, and we're not looking to put any mills at the time, because we've got over the 1.2 or 1.3 million in building fund, we're not looking to
Right.
levy any mills for building fund at this time.
So this was an idea towards if there's wages or things like that that need to be considered.
Yep, the only negative with this special reserve is you can only take half at a time.
Half at a time, whatever's in there, you can only spend half that, you know, if we had 100,000 in there, you can only spend 50, if you got the 450, you can only spend 225 of it, you can only spend half per year. So that'll come later, but that's what we visited about in budget and finance. We'll move on.
Mike,
Go ahead.
extracurricular, Matt, did you
Oh.
guys wanna talk tonight, or did you wanna wait till next one?
I would prefer to,
We didn't really have anything that was,
We didn't make any motions
Agreements
or
of
anything
anything
like that,
which-
discussion.
or what to propose,
So we'll
anything.
get her ready for next
Yeah.
month.
Okay,
Okay, perfect.
sorry.
Thank you.
Unfinished, we got some policies that need second readings. We've got policies to adopt for second readings of ACBD, which is School Medication Program, BFA, which is Board Superintendent Relations, DDBD is Military Leave, DDEA is Jury Leave, FCAF is Concussion Management. That grouping needs a second reading to adopt the policy. So we can do them as a group or individual, what is your preference?
I move to adopt policies 1 through 5 under the unfinished business agenda, item A, as presented on the second reading and as become official policies of the district.
Okay, is there a second for that?
I will, Jennifer.
Jennifer? Any other discussion? If not, roll call on that
Rob.
group.
Yes.
Chad,
Yes.
Jennifer,
Yeah,
Eric,
Yes.
Michelle,
Yes.
Cindy,
Yes.
Mike,
Yes.
Lee,
Yes.
Brett.
Yes. The next group of policies are ones we have that we made some amendments to, and they're taking second readings. There's 9 of them. They're BBBB is school board committees. DEAA is drug and alcohol-free policy. DDC, unpaid leave. FFB is attendance and absences. FFD is carrying weapons. FGA is student education records. HBAA or federal fiscal compliance policy. KAAA is visitors in school. And KACB is complaints about personnel policies. That group is looking for second reading, and they were amended policies.
I move to amend policies 1 through 9 under unfinished business, agenda item B, as presented on second reading, and that they become the official policies of the district.
I second.
Second by Cindy. Any other questions or discussion on those amended ones? If not, roll call.
Rob,
Yes.
Chad,
Yes.
Jennifer,
Yes.
Eric,
Yes.
Michelle,
Yes.
Cindy,
Yes.
Mike,
Yes.
Lee,
Yes.
Brett.
Yes. Next is our student handbooks, and I'd like to thank everybody for getting those together. It's something we've been looking to get done, and appreciate the work you guys put into it. But you all have the copies of them to go through. So, you want, we can do them elementary or together. We got 2 policy books there. How do you want, one or the other?
Only thing I noticed on the high school, it had the old calendar.
Yeah, because once it got approved, I would send that to Ms. Spitz and she would, because I don't know how to put it in or take it out.
Okay, gotcha.
Probably a good
Yeah.
thing.
Okay. So if we're
I'd
looking.
make a motion to approve them both.
Both sets of
Yeah.
handbooks. Motion to approve both sets of handbooks, is there a second?
I'll second.
Michelle, any other discussion there?
Just to make sure that we are, that typo,
It's fixed.
okay.
No leave nature along, it's alone.
Oh, I did see that one too.
Yeah.
Nobody said anything.
We were waiting till the agenda.
I was looking at it like,
Majors.
yeah.
Yep. Okay, any other discussion, hearing none, roll call on handbooks, Lindsay.
Rob,
Yeah.
Chad,
Yes.
Jennifer,
Yes.
Eric,
Yes.
Michelle,
Yes.
Cindy,
Yes.
Mike,
Yes.
Lee,
Yes.
Brett.
Yes.
Sorry, can I ask one question? It has nothing to do with that, but you were fast. So what is the timeline for this normally? This year, obviously, we're a little later, so we'll hand these out to the kids now?
We'll have them
or
ready before registration next year.
Next year,
Yeah.
okay, that's what I was wondering, thank you.
New business, first item is budget, and we really didn't change much from what we presented as a preliminary.
Not much, I just went in and anything that was in yellow in the right-hand column were things that either, we had looked at before, or I updated based on, salary changes or, benefit updates that I had received, so.
We had that last month, we as a committee didn't look at drilling down on any of that, because with the ESSER money and everything else, it's kinda what it is, this fiscal. So,
The only areas that weren't specific really to already designated contract was like supplies and textbooks, those kinds of things, and that we went by trend for the most part.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
thanks.
And in the information handed out at our budget and tax meeting, you'll see some bullet points of some, additional or some larger expenses and some reasoning why our revenues are what they are, in there also, because if you, expenses, and not to go through it again, but you look at 2 of them, you take the extra bond payment, and if you you take the bus that was ordered last year and paid for this year, that's over $1 million right there, just in those 2 items.
2 items, yeah.
Yeah,
And we had 7 or so we talked about.
right, yes.
So we need a motion to approve our 22-23 budget.
I see.
Is there a second by Lee? Any other discussion or questions? If not, roll call.
Rob,
Yes.
Chad,
Yep.
Jennifer,
Yes.
Eric,
Yes.
Michelle,
Yes.
Cindy,
Yes.
Mike,
Yes.
Lee,
Yes.
Brett.
Yes.
Next, we move to mill levies, which, as we talked about before here, we're looking at proposing to levy the same dollar amount as we did last year. And with the projections, which could change a little because we don't have final numbers of evaluations, but the projected would be at 73.36 mils. But we're, whatever that calculates out, we're asking for the same amount of dollars, which is 2,336,000. Yeah,
Mhm.
2,336,326.65. So we're asking to levy the same amount as we did last year. That's our proposal. From budget and finance to the board.
I'll make the motion. to
Um,
approve that.
Lindsay?
Are you gonna doesn't the special reserve have to be
That's
part of
next.
this approval, cause it's all on this sheet too? Cause this is the bank account.
Right, yeah,
Next one is special reserve.
But
Yeah,
that's the
so we have
bank
to do 'em
account.
both.
We have to do
Oh,
them
we gotta
both
both.
under this.
yes,
Well, they're
Okay.
parallel.
So the proposal is that amount, and then we're proposing to start a special reserve fund and levy the 3 mills this year. And that will, at our valuation, right as is, would give us, our value of a mill is
31,848.
Yeah, so we're gonna propose to
Something like
start a
845.
special reserve fund, and that is 3 mills that we would add to that.
The 3 additional mills,
It'd be additional from the general
Okay.
fund, yes,
Now you go in the special reserve, that'd be about 94,000.
yes, for this year, yeah.
If you see on this sheet, I did put an even 96,000 in there in case our tax valuation changes at all, that we would still be able to levy the full 3 mills that way.
just to put a clarification on that special mill levy they were talking about, or a special reserve. You said you can take out half, is that half every year?
yes.
Whatever's
You
in-
can,
Whatever's
yes,
in there, you
Whatever's
take.
in that balance.
whatever in that balance.
Yeah, but you only do that 1 year and then you gotta wait another year, or do you,
No, one per year,
1 per year? Yep.
yes. For that, I mean, the idea is to accrue it up to the 15 mil
Our
amount.
thought at budget
and then-
finance is to move that out, not try to take anything out till we get that 15 mils.
Right, that's ideal, is,
That's where
yeah.
we're at, yes.
So then
And only take it out
roughly-
when you absolutely need it.
Yeah, and roughly it'll be about 480,000 after its
Mhm.
maturity time, so you could do 240,000 one year.
Based on current mill.
Correct,
You know,
yes,
Current mill value.
absolutely,
Right.
yes.
Right.
Yep,
Okay. Just thinking for, so we're looking for the 73 mills roughly, and additional 3 for special reserve.
I have a question for you.
Yes.
So it's gonna go from 70 to 73, but our total,
Dollars is gonna be exactly the same because our valuation of the whole district went down 1.5 million.
was that consistent across the whole district that the valuation went
Most
down?
of it is Spearwood, with the changeover in Spearwood.
So Spiritwood's gonna pay less, the entire rest of the district will pay more.
Correct.
It's not like we're all paying the same as what we were, their valuation went down.
Not Spirit
Not-
District.
No,
No, just-
Yeah, got it.
The industrial part.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they
So
bailed
they're-
out.
15 years.
Ours are going up because they bailed out, but the school will get the same money.
But as the rest of the taxpayers, theirs are not staying the same, they're all making up for the difference that the
That
industrial
is-
park is now not paying.
Yes,
Correct.
yes, they're gonna have to make up, we have to make up that additional 1.5 evaluation that we lost, yes.
And is that gonna keep trending down on that valuation, or what was the decrease in that valuation from?
Dutchman County gave them a buy down on it, didn't
With
they?
Cargill, that facility going out, and the breaks they gave for the new one
one
moving
coming
in, and that's incremented, so that's where the drop of the evaluation. Majority of it, I won't say that's all of it, but majority of the evaluation decreases.
But we anticipate that this year drop,
Yes.
not
Not
continuing.
continually, no, no. They have incentives for up to 15 years, but I don't know if it's across the board or if it increments, I'm not sure on what theirs is, but, no, that's what it is this year, it should not do that every year, no.
And who controls that valuation of that industrial park?
I would guess up and down.
Stuff and county assessors.
And even though that's in our district, we have no part of that whatsoever.
You have to go to those tax meetings to have employees.
That
We have
was,
no control over evaluations set by the county.
Do we have any representation at those meetings when they have that discussion?
We have, when they were doing the tax increment financing or whatever they did, yes, we had input in those meetings, yeah.
Yeah, it didn't turn out as bad as it could have.
Yeah.
Do you know what percentage of total tax rate or valuation comes from that industrial park?
I don't right off, no.
Is it a large percentage?
It's a fairly large percentage, yeah. But I don't know the answer to that. For sure, no. We can find that out, but I don't know what that is. No.
Your question was the valuation of
Oh,
TIPA,
Mm-hmm.
Greatwood Energy Park,
Yeah.
to the total percentage of.
Total valuation.
Okay. Any other questions, comments, or looking for a motion to set our levy?
I'll make that motion to set the levies at 73.8 and,
Can I,
We gotta
Oh.
say.
you gotta
dollar
say
amount
levy
for
the
that.
same
You
dollar
gotta-
amount.
Okay, well, you had, just make a motion
Sorry.
to levy the same dollar amount
Yes.
and 3 mils special reserve fund.
You don't know exactly what that's gonna calculate
Okay.
to with, till we get the new
Okay,
value. We got estimates right now.
right.
So the motion is to levy the same dollars as last year, general fund, and to establish a 3 mil special reserve fund. Is there a second to that?
I'll second.
Any other discussion? Not roll call.
Rob,
Yes.
Chad,
Yep.
Jennifer,
Yes.
Eric,
Yes.
Michelle,
Yes.
Cindy,
Yes.
Mike,
Yes.
Lee,
Yes.
Brett.
Yes, but I don't like it.
The special reserve account, turn it over to you. Lindsay.
So we will need to establish a bank account for that special reserve fund. My suggestion would be that we do that at Bank Forward, because that is where our general fund is at, and that's likely where we will be needing to make the transfers between. So I have talked to Bank Forward, and they said that we would need to have a motion stating, obviously, that we wanna go with Bank Forward if that's what you choose, otherwise we do utilize Dakota Bank for our activity fund. And we have a general fund savings account at Dakota Bank. And then they need to know who the signers are on the account, as well as a specific name for the account. And my suggestion for that would be Barnes County North School District 007 Special Reserve.
Thoughts or motion to, this is what Lindsay suggests.
And we went through that a few years ago, I don't remember, but with that account in there, they're still bonded at the FDIC level that would cover that?
We have ICS sweep accounts, so every day they sweep the accounts and they, yes, we are, all of our money is FDIC insured.
All right.
Mhm.
I'd make a motion to approve it then.
Is there a second?
I'll second. Okay, go ahead, go ahead, Rob.
Rob.
Second. Keep it pretty quiet.
Any other questions? If not, roll call, Lindsay.
Rob,
Yes.
Chad.
Yep.
Jennifer,
Yes.
Eric,
Yes.
Michelle,
Yes.
Cindy,
Yes.
Mike,
Yes.
Lee,
Yes.
Brett.
Yes.
Okay, then we got policy review through the North Dakota School Board Association. We talked about that, and you got some numbers and everything
Yeah.
for that.
And you're probably wondering, well, we're adopting and amending policy, but yet we're looking to have School Board Association go through and review our policies. We adopted those policies this month because we have to have them, and we don't have them, so that's why we finished out with what we've got. But after looking at it in the policy committee meeting 3 times and even going through roughly 12 per meeting, I mean, we got 36 policies done in 3 meetings. There's 150 BCN policies, and that's not including board regulations, administrative regulations, or anything else. So you do the math and whatever, that's, I mean, 10, 12, whatever meetings to go through. School Board Association will go through for $1,000, we'll go through all of our policies, all of our BRs, all of our ARs. They will change the wording, they will tell us which ones we can rescind, adopt, amend, everything like that. They will send us a flash drive, and the policy committee can basically hammer out 25 to 30 in a meeting. And then probably what would take us 10 to 12 meetings Could take us probably a max of 4 to go through and revamp our policies. Then they're all up to date, they're all, you know, to get rid of the ones we don't need, all that stuff. And then moving forward on a yearly basis, along with School Board Association, they send out, you know, in their quarterly or whatever it is, here's policies reviews. We just keep up on that, and then we don't have to worry about it moving forward for right now. Because like I said, the ones we adopted, you have to have, they're all required. We didn't have any of those for that. So that's why I'm asking for the board to approve this agreement with School Board Association, and with that, make me the designated policy liaison with School Board Association. They will work with me, I will work with them, and then the policy committee when they're through. They are working with 2 or 3 other districts right now, so this won't be like an immediate turnaround, but they're usually pretty quick about getting it done.
And that was our discussion at policies, how many times we'd have to go through and balancing what it's gonna cost.
Yep.
It isn't like we're gonna spend more money to do that,
Because of the committee fees.
because of the committee fees.
And then to do that every year.
Every year. We've been doing it every year since I got on board. Every year.
I make the motion that, we adopt the policy review that Mr. Curry was talking about.
I second that.
Motion is made and second to contract with School Board Association to review our policies. Any other discussion? Not another roll call, is it?
Rob?
Yes.
Chad?
Yep.
Jennifer?
Yes.
Eric?
Yes.
Michelle?
Yes.
Cindy?
Yes.
Mike?
Yes.
Lee?
Yes.
Brett?
Yes.
Okay. We had a tuition agreement, one, or we got one, two?
2. Going to Jamestown. Both of them.
Two, okay. Motion for a tuition agreement.
I'll make the motion.
Okay. Motion, is there a second?
Second.
Okay. By Michelle. Any other questions on them? If not, roll call in.
Rob?
Yes.
Chad?
Yep.
Jennifer?
Yes.
Eric?
Yes.
Michelle?
Yes.
Cindy?
Yes.
Mike?
Yes.
Lee?
Yes.
Brett?
Yes.
Okay. Our miscellaneous report.
Ask for a clarification before we leave new business.
Yep.
What was our total mills assessed previously?
Last year, we did
70.
70 mils general fund.
And that was, there was no special reserve.
No.
So now we're gonna go to 73.8 roughly.
70, well, estimated
72.
76.8.
36. 73 point is the estimated.
76 with the three
And
three mil
76
reserve.
with the, and then,
76.36 would be the total as of right now.
So we'll have a 6.36 increase,
of mil,
Mil.
about a 9.5% increase then.
of mil.
Just an acknowledgement of what that was.
Yeah, we did 70 mils general fund last year, is all what we levied in mils. Okay, miscellaneous reports, family connection.
We met 2 weeks ago, to come up with some ideas. We lost some people. We're trying to come up with an idea of how we can gain more parents that want to join Family Connection to help with the things that we're trying to do and kind of get a schedule of the year and what we'd like to see happening, so we can help students and staff at BCN here. We did get our logo finally done, and so I'll just pass this around for everyone to kind of look at what our logo is. And the winners of that was Toby and Hannah, Toby Thompson. I believe Hannah Mueller was the winner. They were the ones, and we talked to them, we liked both of their ideas, and so they came up with this and combined it together. So, which was kind of cool to have students kind of working together. So, we will be sending some things out, hopefully through the listserv to families saying, come on out, join us, help us come up with ideas to fundraise so we can do some good here for our staff and students at BCN. So, that's all I have
Okay,
tonight.
thanks.
Just quick question.
Sure.
Have you looked in to make sure that that's not a design out there being used already?
Brandy, who worked on it, yes.
Okay.
She did, so, yes.
Yeah,
What's that?
Kinda looked at it that way.
Oh, kinda does, now that you say that, with the
That's why,
hands at
that's
the
why.
bottom.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, they did, she did, yep.
Okay, career and tech. Basically what we talked about at the last meeting, it was more focused on the agreement we're working on to work on the grant. We decided, the last one I maybe sent out to you was if everything would go away at the vocational, that Valley would get the land back, and the monies that we would put in for the maintenance agreement would go back based on the percentage of that year. We made that look differently, cause I know in the past, years back when we did the auto shop, they told them what we did was took a 5-year average, because I don't want one school having a bad percentage one year and have hardly anything in that recoup. So we changed that agreement with Valley to say that upon closure, if that ever happens of the vocational center, that the first thing Valley would be back of ownership of the building. The 3 rural schools would get their investment of maintenance fund back based on the 5-year average for our assessment, instead of 1 year, on 5 years. We decided not to even address getting the signatures from Valley City to City of Valley City to us until the funds are released from the feds. And North Dakota right now, the last update, they only released the monies that needed broadband. So nobody in the state has got any release money for that grant yet. So we're not gonna start anything till we know the money is coming. In discussion with Wayne Sick, Derek and I talked, and a lot of these centers that were shovel ready have started their stuff. They spent already all their in-kind money. Prices have gone up. They're going to the legislature. Maybe you heard that they're looking at 88. Well, we're looking at more like 110 or 120 million asked to finish the projects 100%. Like ours was not funded 100%. They're going to ask CTE to look at, to fund all those approved projects at the 100% that they asked for, to try to get everybody to get what they wanted out of it. But that was the bulk of our meeting. I know just we've started the on-site house. The greenhouse is basically covered, ready to go. They're gonna start on having some of the kids work on the electrical for the fans. Welding, they just had a new robotic welder come up there that even something that John Deere and stuff are looking at was in-house the other day, we all had to look at. Things are progressing up there, but bulk of our meeting was on that, working on this grant and getting the paperwork ready to go. That's where we're at. Basically, the only thing we changed was get a 5-year average instead of a 1-year picture.
So, quick question, after the transfer of the building and we don't anticipate any large building improvements at this, I mean, not related to the 3-year thing, but like, you're talking shovel-ready projects.
That was
We
other
don't have
pla-
any, that's around the
That was
country.
around like
Got it.
Dickinson, some of them that
They wanna build structures.
they were ready to roll, already waiting for, what it started out to, that fund was gonna, they asked for the money, then the legislature stuck away 35 million that were supposed to go to the ones that were all ready to go, Fargo, some of them. Well, they piled that all into the same grant. But those guys already were rolling,
Mhm.
and they're waiting for the money, so they have spent up all the money that they had and got donated to them. So they're basically out of money, digging into their own to keep rolling. They were ready to roll. Yeah. We're waiting, even with just minimal architect, we're not even gonna start with the architect till that funding is for sure in hand. So. Special ed, next on there, you got some good news from there?
No. And I told you I was gonna send you the highlights, but I wasn't gonna, honestly, I wasn't gonna waste your time. Because we had no old business, we had no new business. So the only thing we had was a director's report from Tracy. And basically it says the director advised the board regarding the new website, unit-wide challenges, grant updates, and open positions. That's the highlight of our meeting right there. So,
How was their open positions after start of school?
because you get kids that transfer possibly into your district,
Oh, and then you.
that come with an
provide-
IEP that
Got it.
have an aid or something attached to it. That's how, and,
But are they okay?
some were open when we started the year. Like in Oaks had an open position and other ones, so.
Are they okay, like Mr. Wilson talked about high schools, or is special ed okay, or are they short?
Special ed, oh, they're short.
Way short.
Yes, struggling, I mean, because even, we're currently looking for one right now
Okay.
in our building, so, but, yeah.
BERT assessment, you wanted to report there is,
Yep, and BERT assessment, and after we do drills, the BERT team is made up of, administration, AT, law enforcement, counselors, but after we do drills, I mean, there's always the plan to meet right away and assess how the drill went and what we need to change. Well, it's no different when we have an emergency like our threat. I mean, we met, we assessed how it went, and, and one of the things, or a couple of things we looked at right away when we met afterwards was our communication with it. We saw some holes in our communication plan as far as how it went out to parents with the email and then using the alert system and trying to tie the two together so that it's more cohesive to make sure everybody knows that that email came out. And then with that, we got a list of concerns as far as within that too. And one of them, and I'm not going to go through them all, but one of them was more info on the threat, which we talked about in one of our meetings and said, yeah, I mean, we should probably provide that information of what it is. Is it bomb? Is it vandalism? What is it? For that, so people can make educated decisions because they're going to assume something or hear something anyway for that. But I'm going to, because this is a team and Mrs. Albright is our lead on the BERT team, I asked her to come and speak to the group about some of the things that we discussed and the BERT team just in general.
Okay, I guess, yeah, I'm just here to kind of give an update. I usually do one a year anyway. But like Mr. Curry said, we've been fairly busy this year, already. Over the summer, we updated buckets, got all the new students and staff assignments, figured out, got the training in of the new staff on all of our procedures and things. Like I said, we did our mass evacuation drill. The drill went really smooth. On a typical year, we would do like our lockdown, our administrative lockdown, our lockdown keep working first, and then we would do a shelter in place, and then we would do a mass evacuation, just like, but with wanting to test out the alert system and be prepared that way, we decided like let's just do it at the beginning of the year and make sure that is where to go, because that's, I mean, a very key part of getting information out. And like you said, we found some holes right away that first day with the drill, just on how much can be conveyed through text or phone call. And that's where we kind of started to talk about use those to say, hey, check your email. This is where the addresses are. This is what, so giving the information out that way. And then like you said, we would have to go through our threat assessment screening. We do utilize the Department of Homeland Security screening tools. There's 3 of us actually on our team that have been specifically trained in that one. So it's, I mean, the nation uses it, so it's fairly accurate. And then again, we received some feedback on the procedures about how the communication went out, and like we met and discussed and talked about, what specifically we could give out regarding, I mean, we're dealing with minors, typically, we're dealing with people that are not proven guilty. There's only so much that we can say. Moving forward, we do have to do some procedure updates and trainings, because Deb was a huge part of our reunification process. So we are gonna have to, Mrs. Undham's gonna step in and take her spot at the reunification role. So we're gonna just work through some of that. I mean, all of our procedures are evidence-based, like this is stuff that works, it keeps the kids, the staff safe. So, we're not gonna reinvent the wheel, okay, we're just gonna use stuff that keeps working. We are so proactive on catching kids ahead of time, paying attention to mental health issues, changes in behaviors, changes in personalities, appearance, anything, like, we're on these kids. And they are sent right to the personnel that they need to visit with, whether it's a counselor or our social worker or a principal or superintendent, like, we're on it to prevent all of this stuff from happening. Like, I spend a third of my year doing the buckets, the updates, the trainings, the stuff, and hoping we never have to use it, because we can catch these kids ahead of time. And so I just want to say thanks for the support and the confidence that we are doing everything that we possibly can, on a daily and even weekend basis. This team doesn't get a break. And just, we're doing our best to keep everyone as safe and comfortable as we can. So, thank you.
Anybody have any questions?
I just wanna make a comment. I think you guys did a great job. Yes, a little better, you know, if an alert to the phone would have come for some, I understand that. But I also appreciate, Mr. Curry, that you allowed families to make that decision if they wanted to send their child. And it sounds weird, but a little more information for me would have been helpful, because I didn't know if the threat was a shooting. I didn't know if it was, where it was coming from, and for us, for some personal reasons, we kept our kids home. And that's not something I ever thought I would do, because I wholeheartedly trust when my kids arrive here, or the minute they get on the bus with Samuelson, I know they're taken care of. I just know that. But I kept them home because I didn't know what the threat was. And I didn't know where it was coming from, and we've had some things happening that I thought, well, maybe they took it a step further than just us. And so that's why I kept my kids home. But I felt 100% secure, Mr. Curry, when you sent out the next feed of information, 100% knowing that I could send my kids the next day. So it's a learning experience, and it's been a rough start to this year.
Yeah.
So thank you to the staff and to you, Mr. Curry.
And that just that, and, I mean, but it's you say me, and I type those up, you know, and
I know
do
it's
that
a
just
group
like this
effort.
last weekend,
I
but
know
it's a
that.
team.
It's
I
a
mean,
team effort, yes.
I'm
I
not
know.
making the decision, I mean, especially being new to try to do that, I mean, I'm relying on the BERT team, which
Yes.
I've been in not a lot of school districts, but a couple others, and I mean, this is a very good plan and procedures that BCN has in place. But that's why we assess after each one too, is to look at what can we do better. You know, and we know location is an issue for us, and that's something that the BERT team discussed Monday when we met, and we're looking at possibly doing some things with that too, and being proactive.
And we did visit with law enforcement about like what legally we can say, and like the sheriff said, because you guys as a district can decide what you want to say. As law enforcement, they can only say so much. But if it's coming from the district, and so that's where he said, if you guys wanna tell if it's a bomb threat, active violence, active shooter, he goes, that's fine, but if it's coming from the law enforcement, they're limited there.
And just more on this, today at my Region 6 principal meeting, there were a couple schools that had brought up threat assessments because they were going through them at the same time that we went through ours. And they were stumbling through it, and when I explained everything that we do, we're so much further ahead of so many other schools out there. I mean, even the fact that we do school evacuations, you know, that there's so many schools that they put a plan maybe together, but they haven't utilized it. So I emailed Mrs. Albright to ask her which plan that we were using, because they all want all our information on what we do, you know, as far as our BERT team, the meetings, everything that we do, the communication, because a lot of schools don't have that threat assessment put in place and what they wanna do. And like Mr. Curry said, after every time you come back and reassess that situation, because every situation's different and brings to light something new. So-
And it's not like we can't just post our emergency procedures on the website like a handbook, because the psycho people in this world would turn around, oh, this is exactly what they're gonna do in a fire drill. Like,
Two quick questions. One, what is the timing of the rollout of the notices? Does it go text, email, phone, or all at once?
No, that's what we've kind of figured out is now because of, you know, well, what we learned is
Well, there's
email,
three
2 minutes
situations
later,
here, yeah.
the other stuff goes out.
Okay.
So then when they go to their email, the
There.
email is
That's
there. Instead of the email gap and then something goes out and now people are wondering, oh, is there another one I'm supposed to see
Okay.
besides that other one? It's more so supposed to happen like it did this weekend.
You could see the progression in the
Yes.
timing through the three instances. One,
Yes.
the mass evacuation, the phone call came before the reminder it was happening, so I literally called the school back and nobody answered, and I thought, what the hell is
Yeah.
going on?
Right.
So,
Yes.
and then obviously the situation with the high school student or whoever it was, and then this weekend, and I thought the growth in the timing of the messages was very good. Is there a feedback mechanism to show percentage coverage? I know this last weekend, there was a situation where there was a couple messages going out because the first message was not covering everybody. Is there a feedback that you're getting, whether the website or the text?
Oh, that was me, cause I had a filter wrong on my.
Okay, but do we
my
know
call
if
list,
everybody's
and I
getting the
noticed
stuff?
that.
Do you
Is there any way
I
to
run
know that?
reports.
Yeah.
Is there? Okay.
Yeah.
Cause there's, like, Constant Contact will tell you, no, they haven't opened this email. I would assume that's how.
Yep, I can see if things have failed or if they haven't been delivered.
Okay, good.
And if I try and ignore it, it keeps ringing.
Answer your phone, Brett.
Chris up there?
Yeah, one question, would it be possible if, like, I'm assuming Wimbledon, I know Daisy Volunteer Fire Department was called, dispatched on this? Can you give advance warning to them so they could plan to?
I
do
did.
it?
They did.
I had it. And I,
You're chief.
no, no, but I was not chief then.
He wasn't the only one that showed up.
I actually wanted to apologize from the Daisy Fire Department for that. I can't speak for Wimbledon, because we were asked to respond to the Barnes County North School.
But it was non-emergency drill.
Exactly. But the page said respond to.
Yeah.
I was the only one here. So
Mary came
the
from
purpose of the
Wimbledon, too.
drill
Yeah.
is to see who
and
responds
that's
and how
part of why
quickly.
we practice these
Yeah,
too, is so
exactly.
dispatch can have their ducks in a row and we can.
Right.
I mean, we found a couple different gaps with, getting bounced between Stutzman County's dispatch and ours, and, just depending on which tower pings and different things, and, so a lot of these drills is to, I mean, it's not just for us, it's for all of our area first responders too, because,
So I don't know if you even knew that we didn't because you were gone. at
because
that
I was
point.
over there.
Right.
Yeah, Mary came over there as a first
She
responder
did,
from
okay.
Wimbledon.
And she thought she was the only one, Rob.
Okay.
Can't believe no one else showed up,
Well-
and now we know more.
I will make sure that does not happen.
Okay.
For Daisy. I can't speak for the other ones, but I,
Our department knew about it. It was a simple fact that they put it out as, it'll be a drill, so if you can't get off work, you know, it's not gonna be, you know, so that's where that went from, so.
And we do, I mean, we understand people's concerns and, but, I mean, we do appreciate the support also.
Thanks. Next is school board convention, which, when do we need to sign up for that?
That's me.
By next week. Well, cause the hotel block expires September 30th, so.
Okay.
You need to go.
It's on the calendar.
And so
people.
before the 30th would be ideal, like,
So do
the
we have to
28th would be
appoint
great,
delegates?
yes.
So we-
And Jennifer is required
have
to
to
go
go,
to
and
the
I
New
can
Member
figure
Seminar.
I just need an itinerary of when I have to.
there is not one yet that I've seen. So there's a
We have to-
preliminary, but
17 and 28, or
List
27, 28,
two
sorry.
candidates, or two electors, or whatever.
sure, if there's two people going. I mean,
Anybody thinking of going, that we would need to get back to Lindsay by the 30th. Jennifer's going.
Which day of the month is that again?
It's
Thursday, Friday.
Oh,
October.
The last Thursday, Friday of October.
I'm not going.
I'd only be able to do Thursday, I couldn't do Friday. So that doesn't do any good with it, that's because it don't, except on Friday.
You only get this Friday.
No.
So think on it, get back to Lindsay by the 30th.
So
Even if
whoever
you're-
signs up is gonna be a delegate?
Apparently.
Okay,
If there's more, they can be an alternate, but yeah, okay,
Make us draw names.
okay. Nothing else on convention, our next meeting's October 18th,
which is a Tuesday.
yep.
Yep.
Remind that it's Tuesday, October 18th.
Because Wednesday is the day before the NDCL break.
The break.
So, I mean,
Okay, got it.
I'll be out in Bismarck on Wednesday.
So then we're adjourned. Thank you.
Before everybody leaves, is there committees that have to meet stuff, like, can we